John Beltran back in Berthoud. Game 1 goes to Fort Morgan in 6 innings, 17-6. We'll set the Game 2 lineup. And we can tell you that the Fort Morgan lineup's been completed. We're still waiting for the Berthoud lineup. Hopefully not too many changes, but for the Mustangs, as the teams warm up, different lineup, a more customary lineup here in game number 2. J.P. Hamer, the center fielder, hits first. Right fielder Jacob Ortega is the second hitter. Batting third is the shortstop Isaac Linker. Catcher Nick Norris. How about first baseman Nick Norris hits fourth. Batting fifth, the left fielder Javi Baqueta. Alex Ortega, the pitcher, hits sixth. Nick Beltran at second, hits seventh. The catcher Connor Fajardo bats eighth. And Austin Apple, the third baseman, will be hitting ninth. We know that Berthoud used 3 pitchers in the opening game. They started with Braden Pickett, finished with Sam Baird. Adrian Short was the second pitcher. And let's see, I think, we might be getting a lineup here for Berthoud momentarily. We're going to walk over towards that Mustang dugout. We might take another brief break here, as the Mustangs exploded for 10 runs in the third inning. 10 runs in the third, then they scored 3 in the fifth and 4 more in the sixth inning to win that contest by a 17-6 count. So Mustangs warming up down the right field line, and Berthoud warming up in the left field area. Again, Fort Morgan with a victory now at 9-6 in league play and 14-8 overall. Well, the umpires are ready to go, I can tell you that. But because they had a little bit of a barbecue in between games, because that happened, that's what's extended the distance and the time between games 1 and 2 here, between Fort Morgan and Berthoud. All right, now the players for the Mustangs are walking back to the dugout. All right, we'll see if we can, and not that it's the most conventional way to do so, is getting the lineup as the game goes along. That's more, that would happen more than likely in a doubleheader. The coach is already meeting at home plate. So I think that's what we're going to do for the Berthoud side. Then we'll just pick up the lineups as the teams take the field, because the Mustangs are done warming up and they're calling in Berthoud from left field as well. So Fort Morgan should be on the field first. That was the understanding, because this is the game that was supposed to be played in Fort Morgan. So first pitch will be at approximately 134, 135. But I see the Berthoud catcher with his gear on. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, when Fort Morgan played Windsor, and they had to play both games in Windsor on separate days, Fort Morgan was the home team for one of those games. Well, we're going to find out. It looks like Berthoud might actually take the field here. Yeah, it looks like, sorry about that, had the mic on the other end. Looks like Berthoud might be taking the field first, so we'll find out what's going to happen. Yeah, because right now, the Mustangs are also outside of the dugout. Well, at some point, this will be cleared up. Hopefully sooner rather than later. Yeah, neither team has got a hitter that's grabbed a batting helmet so far. Yeah, the home plate umpire ready to go. Yeah, see, some Spartans ready to take the field. I don't know why that's the case. Why is Berthoud the home team when they were supposed to be the visiting team for one of these games? I don't know. Well, that confuses me. That should not be the case. And I don't know, maybe Josh Langford has made an agreement there that that's going to be the case, but Fort Morgan should have been the home team for one of these games. But Berthoud is now going to be the home team for both games. Well, I guess it is what it is. And that looks like it could be Robert Ross a right-hander, the starting pitcher. And it is Robert Ross will start for Berthoud. A different battery made as well. Let's see who'll be catching in this game. Behind the plate will be Matt Jorison. He was the shortstop. You rarely see that. He was a shortstop in the opening game. Yeah, we're literally filling this out as it goes along. Adrian Short is at third. I feel like I'm back in youth baseball. So Adrian Short will play third. We don't even know the lineups yet. But we do know the battery. The battery being the pitcher and the catcher. That might actually be Pelfrey at the shortstop who was in left field. Oh, well, it's the last game of the season for them. Berthoud will not be in the playoffs. And I think that's what's happening. They're just having some fun out there. And playing guys where they want to play them. Yeah, Pelfrey's at short. And the first pitch about to be made. Brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Things happen in life. Make sure you're prepared with the right insurance coverage. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance, Sterling Brush and Fort Morgan. J.P. Hamer swings and fouls it off to the right on the first pitch from Robert Ross. It's no balls and one strike. Hamer did not play in the opening game. And a check swing, and he fouls it off the bat. It's 0-2. Not sure where off the bat, but he did foul it. No balls and two strikes. First pitch was at 134. Called strike three. On a fastball away, Hamer strikes out on three pitches. And there's one down. Jacob Ortega had 3 RBIs in the opening game. And he takes a fastball upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Ortega takes a breaking ball for a strike on the inside corner. And the count levels at 1-1. Well, there's a 15 at second base. I don't have that on the roster. Swung on and grounded to that second baseman. Charging, fielding, throwing on the run for the out. Well, let's see. Is that Kevin Carter? That could be Kevin Carter. Nope, that's not Carter. Carter wears number 12. So there's 2 down. And now the batter for Fort Morgan in game 2 is Isaac Linker. The pitch and the breaking ball is up and in from the right-hander. Robert Ross. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering. Fastball, a strike down the middle. It's 1-1. And the wind and pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball to dirt. I'd say this Ross has got a live arm. Looking really good so far. 1-2. And the offering. Swung on and fouled. Off to the right. Count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Fort Morgan was retired in order in game 1. But then they broke out and scored 17 runs. And the breaking ball, thought it clipped them. They're going to say it didn't. Count is at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. With the bases empty in the first. And the pitch. Swing and a miss and a ball that tied him up. And Isaac Linker strikes out. 2 strikeouts in the opening frame for Robert Ross. Let's get to the bottom of the first inning. Fort Morgan does not score. Berthoud coming to bat on B106 and B106.com. Alex Ortega's on the hill for Fort Morgan for game 2. 4-2 with a 3.38 ERA. Again, we'll get these hitters as they come along here for the Berthoud Spartans. Fort Morgan won game 1, 17-6. Andrew Hardy steps in against the right-hander Ortega. The pitch. Fastball rides inside. Hardy in the opening game was 1 for 4. Robert Ross took care of Fort Morgan in game 1. Berthoud now wearing their maroon jerseys for game 2, squaring to bunt fastball off the glove of Fajardo. Norris at first, Beltran at second, Apple at third, the shortstop. It's Isaac Linker. Baquetas in left, Hamer in center, Jacob Ortega in right. And the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, driven deep to left field. Javi Baquetas going back, still going back. He's got room, and he reaches out and makes the catch. Javi Baqueta, what an athlete. That ball was hit a long way, but there's one down. That'll send up Daniel Pelfrey. Pelfrey was 0 for 3 in game 1. He'll be followed by Matt Jorson. Alex Ortega, hard-throwing right-hander. Here's the one in the pitch, and the breaking ball swung on and fouled at the plate. No balls and 1 strike. Oh and 1. And the pitch is swung on, grounded left side. Linker has it to his left. Fires to first, and late. It's a base hit. Boy, Isaac did everything he could do, get rid of that baseball, but it's a straight-up base hit for the speedy Pelfrey. That'll send up Matt Jorson. Yeah, not much you can do about that one. He fielded it quickly, charged it, got rid of it, but just way too much speed there for Pelfrey. The stretch by Ortega. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled on the breaking ball up and in. It's 0-1. No score, bottom of the first inning. Fort Morgan won game 1 by a score of 17-6. Trying to do equal damage in game 2. Throw back to first. Nothing doing there. Digging in for the right side once again is Jorson. Mustangs at double play depth. The stretch by Ortega, the offering, and the breaking ball's a strike on the inside corner. And it's 0-2. Boy, if he gets that pitch going. Remember, he had one great outing against Roosevelt this year. And he's got everything going in that game. No balls and 2 strikes. The stretch and the pitch. That is outside. Runner go to second. The throw is up the shortstop side. It's a steal for Pelfrey. Ortega still ahead in the count at 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Matt Jorson. The stretch. And the pitch. Breaking ball all the way to the screen. Bounces in. We saw a lot of those in terms of balls in the dirt. Count is at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pitch to Jorson. Fastball is upstairs. Count is now sitting at 3-2. Alex Ortega working on this hitter, Jorson. Swung on and fouled off to the right. Count remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Now, hoping for some cleaner baseball here in game 2. That first game was something else. 17-6 Fort Morgan. Certainly not textbook baseball. The stretch. And Ortega delivers. Swung on and grounded right side. Second baseman Beltran to his right has got it. He fires to first, and that'll be late. An infield hit. Run scores. It's 1-0 on a slow roller. Well, that's a couple of infield knocks there for Berthoud. Here's Adrian Short. And the pitch. Fastball, a strike down the middle. Check that. Nope, this is not Short. Let's see what we have here. Short is on deck. This is Grand Vomaka. Ortega comes on with the 0-1, and the breaking ball is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's speed at the top of this lineup, as we can see for Berthoud. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on, 1-0 Berthoud. The pitch swung on line towards right field. Jacob Ortega to his left makes the catch. Back to first is Joris, and there's 2 down. Ball hit very sharply, but right at the Mustang right fielder, Jacob Ortega. As Adrian Short now is at the dish. Well, Berthoud had a 1-0 lead after 1 in game 1. So who knows what this really means in game 2. And the pitch, and that bounces away. Stolen base anyway, he was taking off. So it's a stolen base for Matt Jorison. The stretch, long pause, and the pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. Count moves to 1 ball and 1 strike. The wind has picked up quite a bit. Berthoud has 2 infield hits in the inning. Ortega looks back. Short awaits the pitch. Spin throw to second. Ball was dropped, but they wouldn't have got him anyway. Wow, all of a sudden the wind has come out of nowhere. Really come out of nowhere. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down. And the offering, and the breaking ball is inside. Ball 2, strike 1 to Adrian Short. You never know what you're going to get here in the state of Colorado. The pitch, swing and a miss, challenge him with a fastball up in the zone. Count now levels at 2-2. The pitcher, Robert Ross, waits to hit next. Hopefully he will bat in the 2nd inning. Two and 2 to Short. The pitch, called strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for Ortega. That does it. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and a man left. Let's head to the 2nd inning. In game 2, it's Berthoud 1, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and B106.com. Let's move to inning number 2. Fort Morgan trails Berthoud 1-0. And Robert Ross looked very sharp in the opening frame. He will now pitch to Nick Norris. Nick Norris, a little bit of a hitting streak. Swung on, grounded sharply to third, knocked down. The throw to first will be low and dug up, and it's an error. Not dug out. That'll be an error on Short. Mustangs catch a break. That was not handled over there by the first baseman, Vomaka, so they had the leadoff man on the air by the third baseman, Short. Well, that's what happened to Berthoud in game 1. They had that rough 3rd inning. And errors were a contributor. Pitches in the dirt, it skips away. Norris to second as Javi's at the plate as he slides in. So 1 ball and no strikes. Here to Javi Baquera. 1-0 Berthoud. We're in the top of the 2nd inning, but the Mustangs are already threatening. Looking for a sweep of the doubleheader. And the pitch swung on and fisted down the line, and that's going to stay fair. The throw to first is going to be in time, And sliding into third is Norris. Baqueta's retired. There's one down. That'll bring up Alex Ortega on a ball that was dribbled down the line. Ortega starting pitcher today. Here's the wind and the pitch. Swung on. That ball is lifted into shallow right. The second baseman going out, and the catch is made. There's two down. Again, that's a 15. I'm not sure who that is. We don't have the 15 on the roster. But the catch is made and two down here for Nick Beltran. Nick had a two-run single and a bunt single in the opening game, the offering, and that is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. At third is Norris with 2 down in the second. The pitch. Fastball is down and in. It's 2-0. What plagued Fort Morgan yesterday was not scoring in the early innings. 2-0 pitch. That's on the outside corner for a strike. Took something off it. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Beltran awaits. Swinging a foul tip right into the glove. Threw him a breaking ball, and the count levels at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes out of the windup with a man at third. And the offering. And fouled it off. Fastball was tailing away. Just got a piece of it to stay alive. 2-2 to Nick Beltran with 2 down in the second. The offering. Swung on and fouled back. Went with a slow breaking ball. Got a piece of it. Yeah, Ross works quickly, and he's all over the strike zone. 16 strikes so far in 6 balls. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball up and in, and Beltran strikes out. And the Mustangs are denied in the second. No runs, no hits. There was 1 error and a man left. To the bottom of the second we go. Berthoud 1, Fort Morgan nothing on B106 and B106.com. Let's move to the bottom of the second inning. Fort Morgan trails Berthoud 1-0. Mustangs had the opportunity to not score. In that frame, Robert Ross will lead off. Again, we'll try to find out who the next hitter is. We don't have him on the roster. The pitch. Fouled straight back. It's 0-1. Wearing a 15. I don't know who that is. For Berthoud. And the offering. Fastball is a strike on the outside corner at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes. This is where you check out the Berthoud roster. The pitch. Swung on and lined. Dive by Beltran. He picks it up. He throws to first back foot. And late. It's a base hit. The pitcher went to cover. But that's a straight up base hit on a nice dive to his left by Beltran. And a ball ticketed for right field. Well, let's see. Yeah, we'll have a courtesy runner. Well, let's see. Now let's look at this roster. See if we... Yeah. Don't know who this is. And the pitch, squaring a bunt, and he fouls it off. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, that makes it a little bit difficult. So it's a base hit for Robert Ross. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch, and the breaking ball bounces in, blocked by Fajardo. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. I don't know if that's Schneider. That's a strike. Count moves to 1-2. Yeah, wanted to call time, but was not given time. And they don't have to give it to you. The stretch and the pitch in the dirt. That one skips away up the third base side towards the Berthoud dugout. Runner advances. Rain continues to fall here in Berthoud. It's not heavy rain, but enough to cause a little bit of an issue. Stretch and pitch. Breaking ball off the glove again. That'll be a pass ball. Runner to third. That ball nearly got away in the infield. Mustangs got to wake up here. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Already the base runner to third. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and chopped slowly to third. Charging his apple. He's got it. Throws to first on a run. And out is the hitter. But the courtesy runner scores from third. And it's 2-0. That was Grant Novak scoring from third. Oh, JT is the name. I don't know who JT is. All right, with 1 down. Here's the pitch to Sontag. Swing and a miss. Pitch up in the zone. Challenge him with a fastball. No balls and 1 strike. CB comes right at him again. The pitch. Swung on line, and that's going to be a base hit into left field. He did challenge him, and Sontag took it the other way. So they've got a run across and another base hit in the inning. For Berthoud, that's their 4th of the game. And the pitch is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Another right-handed hitter. All righties in this lineup. Ortega delivers a strike on the outside corner. This is Kevin Carter. At the plate here, the number 9 hitter for Berthoud. Stretched by Ortega. And the 1-1. Just outside. Trying to work the corners of the plate. And the offering. Curveball is chopped slowly foul down the third base side. Count is at 1 ball and 2 strikes. We are straight up at 2 o'clock. This is Morgan County's B106 KPRB, Brush, Fort Morgan. We're in game number 2. Fort Morgan won the opening game 17-6, but right now they trail 2-0 in the bottom of the second. And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled back. Here to Kevin Carter. 35 pitches unofficially so far for the right-hander Alex Ortega. Mustangs once again a double play depth. And the offering. Swung on. That's popped up and out of play to the right. So we remain at 2-2. Single runs in the first and second innings. For Berthoud. And the pitch. Down and in with a curveball. Ball 3, strike 2. Yeah, this is just spitting some rain. That's all it is. A little drizzle, but there's blue beyond, but they did call for about a 20 to 30% chance of rain at this point. The pitch swung on. That ball is driven into left center field, and I can't even spot the baseball. That's gonna drop in. It's gonna be a double play. It was caught out there, and it's gonna be a double play. I don't even know who caught that ball. It'll be a double play as the runner was going, and that's gonna end the inning. That was flagged down by Beltran. It'll be looked like 8-4-2, 8-4-3, and it doubles up the runner. All right, we played 2-0 Berthoud on B106 and B106.com. Let's move to the third inning. Berthoud 2, Fort Morgan nothing in game 2. It'll be Connor Fajardo followed by Austin Apple and J.P. Hamer against right-hander Robert Ross, who's been pretty effective through 2 innings, had 2 strikeouts in the opening frame. Yeah, double play ended the last inning. I believe it was an 8-4-3. So hard to see from here. Here's the wind and the pitch. Down and away to Fajardo. The conditions are much different in this game, too. Significant wind. Here's the wind, the 1-0. Squaring to bunt, and he lays it down foul up the third base side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Connor was 0 for 2 in game 1. Here's the wind and pitch. Swung on line. Base hit into left field along the line on a hanging breaking ball. And Fajardo has Fort Morgan's first hit of the game. That'll bring up Austin Apple. Apple had a 2-run double in his final plate appearance of game 1. And Cale Langford will be running over there for Connor Fajardo. Cale had a lot of playing time in game 1 when Nick Castanedo was hurt. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. Here to the number 9 hitter for the Mustangs, Austin Apple. 2-0 Berthoud in the third. Single runs in the first and second innings. Time is called. And home plate umpire signaling something out there. Not sure what it was. Here's a stretch as Apple awaits the pitch. Here it is, squaring to bunt, and he lays it down up the third base side. Excellent bunt. It's gloved. The throw to first on a hop and late, and now headed to third is Langford, and he's in there. It'll be an infield single. A bunt single for Apple. First and third for Fort Morgan. And here's J.P. Hamer, struck out his first time. But Fort Morgan now threatening down 2-0 in the third. And the pitch. Fastball is outside. One ball and no strikes to the senior center fielder, J.P. Hamer. Ross looks in. Fastball is high. It's 2-0. So again, an outfield single and an infield single to begin the inning. 2-0 in the dirt. Well, this is the way that Braden Pickett was looking pretty sharp, and then all of a sudden, it was the third inning that Fort Morgan really capitalized. They're trying to do it in the third inning of game 2. That's a strike on the inside corner, 3 balls and 1 strike. Here to J.P. Hamer. On deck, it's Jacob Ortega, who drove in the first 2 runs of game 1. Hamer awaits the 3-1 pitch, and that's low, and the runner was going. The bases are loaded. Bases are loaded for Ortega. Well, is Fort Morgan going to use this third inning once again to do something special like they did in the first game? Cale Langford at third. Austin Apple at second. Hamer at first, and the pitch. Down and away with a heater. 1 ball and no strikes. The 10-run inning was their biggest of the season, the offering. Swung on, that is popped up behind the plate. Might be a play, and the ball is going to be caught. That's an excellent play. Near the first base dugout, a basket catch. And there's 1 down. That's a tremendous catch by Matt Jorrison, the Berthoud catcher, excuse me. There's Isaac Linker. Pitches off the plate. 1 ball and no strikes. Linker trying to tie this game with a base hit. 1-0. Swung on. That ball is drilled into deep left field. That one towards the track, and it's going to be caught out there. Langford will tag up at third. A run will score on the sac fly. And it's 2-1 as Isaac Linker drives in Fort Morgan's first run, brought to you by Cargill Meat Solutions. They work with the community to make sure there are members of the communities they're involved in. Cargill Meat Solutions. And again, we're still working on who's where. So many changes here for this team. The fastball's a strike in game 2. Nick Norris raced on an error. He's 0 for 1. The stretch by Robert Ross. And the pitch. Swung on. That's fouled off to the right. Still throwing lots of strikes. 2-1 strike to ball ratio. 0-2 here to Norris. Yeah, I thought Berthoud would be the visiting team for one of these games, but they're the home team for both. And fastball is up and in. But they are both league games, which is puzzling to me. Why they're not the home team for this game. And the offering. And the ball's in the dirt on the breaking ball. The count levels at 2-2. From Robert Ross to Nick Norris, the two alliterative names. Rain looks like it's about to stop. It's been spitting for a while. And the pitch. Fastball high. Runner goes to third. The throw. And Apple's going to be caught in between second and third. He's going to be tagged out by Adrian Short. It's a caught stealing. So Nick Norris will lead off the fourth inning. The Mustangs do score a run and a couple of hits. They strand one. 2.5 complete. The score in game 2. Berthoud 2. Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. Andrew Hardy leads off the bottom of the third for Berthoud. They lead Fort Morgan 2-1 in the second of our doubleheader. And scoring to bunt up the third baseline. It's going to be barehanded by Ortega. The throw to first, and that's going to be safe. Oh, a bang-bang play at first, but it's going to be another infield hit. Ortega did everything correctly, but it's a base hit for Andrew Hardy to begin the bottom of the third. There's Daniel Pelfrey. Pelfrey singled and scored in the first inning. Let's see if he bunts. The pitch swung on. That ball is lifted towards right center field. J.P. Hamer tracks it down in the gap, and there's one down. One down. That'll send up Matt Jorrison. He singled in the opening frame. An infield hit. Throw back to first, back and diving is Hardy. Fort Morgan just countered on a sac fly by Isaac Linker to plate their only run. 1 on, 1 out, the stretch. And the offering. Breaking ball, strike. Runner goes to second. The throw is going to be late. It's a stolen base. Yeah, nothing Fajardo could do there. That was a slow breaking ball. No balls and 1 strike. Off of second is the speedy Hardy. Jorrison awaits. Long pause and the pitch. Curveball is upstairs. 1 ball and 1 strike. Long pause again and the pitch. Low with a fastball. It's 2-1. Game number 23. Mustangs have not played this many regular season games. Well, I don't know when the last time. There used to be 19 game seasons. Now this is 23. And the 2-1. That's right there for a strike, belt high. On the inner half, it's 2-2. Alex had 2 strikeouts in the first inning. We're in the third. It's 2-1 Berthoud. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's 3-1 on the board. I believe that should be 2-2. And no, I guess it was 3-1. The ball to the screen. I guess I must have had one that was a strike that was actually a ball. So it's a walk and the ball got away. So it's now first and third off the walk and the wild pitch. Here's Grant Vomaka, who lined to right his first time up. Yeah, we know that this is not going to be as easy as game one. This will be a much harder task for Fort Morgan. Linker playing close to the second base bag. A grounder there could be a double play. The pitch. That's a strike with a breaking ball. It's 0-1, belt high. Berthoud has scored in each of the first 2 innings. No balls and 1 strike. Ortega looking back at the trail runner. And the pitch swung on, chopped foul up the third base side. And it's 0-2 to Vomaka. Well, now can he come up with a strikeout pitch? They bury him right here. No balls and 2 strikes. Runners take their leads. And the pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. That pitch was way up in the zone. Went fishing for that one. Remains at 0-2 with Adrian Short on deck. Again, Ortega trying to come up with that money pitch. And here it is. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. Runner goes to second. The throw's going to be cut off by Linker. It'll be a strikeout and a steal of second. And there's 2 down in the third inning. As Jorison takes second, but a nice breaking ball thrown there by Alex Ortega. Short struck out looking his first time up. And the offering upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Got a solid core of pitchers ready for the playoffs. The 2 Ortegas, Mateo Salcido, Nick Castaneda, 1-0. Swing and a miss and a fastball in the inner half. It's 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 down, 2 on. The Mustangs trail by 1 in the third. And the pitch. Breaking ball, down and in, 2-1. That barely missed. Barely missed. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the delivery. Swing and a miss. Boy, just overpowering Short. He might do it for a second straight at bat. 2-2. John Beltran live from Jack Summers Field. We're in the third inning. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and he blew him away with a fastball. As Short strikes out for the second time in the game. In the third inning, no runs for Berthoud. 1 hit, no errors, and 2 men left. Let's head to the fourth inning in 1 minute. It's Berthoud 2, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. Nick Norris, Javi Baqueta, and Alex Ortega as we move to the fourth inning. It's a 2-1 lead for the Berthoud Spartans in Game 2 after Fort Morgan won the opening game in 6 innings, 17-6. Nick Norris was at the plate when Austin Apple was caught stealing. Norris at 0-1. The pitch swung on. That ball is drilled in and caught. Caught by the shortstop. Pelfrey on a line. You can't hit that any harder, but there's 1 down. Yeah, that's the injustice of baseball. 1 down for Javi, who grounded to third his first time up. Yeah, that ball was roped. The pitch. That's a strike on the off-speed pitch at the knees. It's 0-1. Here to Javi Baqueta. And the offering. Swung on and line towards left field. Coming on, dive, and the catch is made. Kevin Carter in left field makes the grab. To his knees, and there's 2 outs. Well, those are 2 well-hit balls, but Berthoud able to make the plays. Sends up Alex Ortega. Swung on. That is lifted into left center field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Well, the Mustangs finally got one they needed there. So it's a 2-out hit for Ortega. It's now 1 for 2. Nick Beltran struck out his first time up with 2 outs. Pitch from Ross. Swung on. That's lined up the middle on the ground, and shortstop Pelfrey steps in the bag. That ends the inning as Ortega is forced out at second. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. Let's head to the bottom of the 4th. It is Berthoud 2, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. Berthoud leads 2-1 as we move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Alex Ortega has pitched pretty well, but Mustangs need some offensive support for him. Isaac Linker with a sac fly for the lone run. And here's the opposing pitcher, Robert Ross. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Ross, the guy they call JT on deck, and Tim Sontag. And the pitch. Fastball rides inside. Ross singled in his first plate appearance. Ortega gets the sign from Fajardo. And the 1-0 pitch. Swung on, it's grounded left side. Apple has got it to a knee. Stands up, throws to first perfectly. And there's 1 down. Ross is now 1 for 2. That'll bring up JT. At least that's what I heard, because I don't have a 15 on the roster. Grounded out his first time at the plate. And the right-hander Ortega delivers. That's right there with a fastball at the knees. It's 0-1. 56 pitches, 36 of those for strikes, and his mechanics look pretty good. And Alex turns and fires in the 0-1, but he bounced that one in there. Count levels at 1 ball and 1 strike. This game is moving a lot quicker than the first game. Of course, by this time in the first game, we had about 16 runs that were scored. Only 3 so far in game 2. Fort Morgan won that first game 17-6. And the pitch swung on and grounded left side. Going to be a tough play. Linker in the hole has got it. Throws off his back foot. That'll be late. It's a base hit. Another infield hit for Berthoud. These guys are just placing it perfectly. Tim Sontag is 1 for 1. He lined it to left field. Berthoud now with 6 hits. The Mustangs have 3. Berthoud has committed the game's only error. That's a good lead over there, about 3 steps. The pitch, breaking ball, swung on and missed. No balls and 1 strike. Fort Morgan has trailed for virtually the entire game. It's 2-1 in the 4th inning. Let's see if Alex can get a ground ball middle infield. Time is called. This is Berthoud's final game regardless. They're 4-11 in league play, 6-14 overall. Mustangs headed to the playoffs. Swung on, grounded to short. Isaac Linker flips to second for 1. Beltran to first, and that's a double play. 6-4-3 in the double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and the bases left empty. Let's head to the 5th inning. It's Berthoud 2, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. Connor Fajardo leads off the 5th inning for the Mustangs, trailing the Berthoud Spartans 2-1. Fajardo to be followed by Austin Apple and J.P. Hamer. Connor has 1 of 3 hits for the Mustangs in the game. Robert Ross comes home, swinging a foul to the screen. No balls and 1 strike. 3 runs on 6 hits for Berthoud, 1 run on 3 hits for Fort Morgan. And Robbie Ross delivers. Swung on, grounded up the middle, headed for center field. Shortstop Pelfrey to a knee, stands up, throws to first, and in time. He got him on a bang-bang play at first, and there's 1 out. 1 down here for Apple. Josh Langford can't believe it. That was Very close at first. It looked like he had beat it. Apple with a bunt single. The pitch. Curveball is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. And the pitch swung on and fouled straight back. Count levels at 1-1 to Apple. And it's getting fairly late in this game with a 2-1 Berthoud lead, and the breaking ball bounces in. Ball 2, strike 1. There's some good defensive plays made by Berthoud in this one. And the pitch. That bounces in as well. 3-1 to Austin Apple. And the offering swung on and tapped foul behind the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Apple ready, the pitch. Swung on. That ball is lifted into left field. Should be a routine play for Kevin Carter. He makes the catch for the out. And there's 2 down. JP has struck out and walked. 0 for 1 officially. Robert Ross comes home, and the curveball is a strike on the outer half at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Yeah, for Berthoud, this is like a playoff game because this is it. Swung on and grounded foul up the third base side, and it's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes with 2 down and the bases empty in the 5th inning. Pitch to Hamer. Fastball is high. Ball 1, strike 2. And the offering in the dirt with a curveball. 2-2 to J.P. Hamer. And the pitch. Fastball is upstairs again. B&B Appliance can help you with all of your appliance needs. Stop in and see what they can do for you. B&B Appliance, Ensign Street in Fort Morgan. 3-2 is foul to the screen. On deck is Jacob Ortega. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, drilled, but that's going to be foul. It's twisting. Let's see. It is a foul ball. Remains at 3-2. 333 down the left field line. He got all of that baseball, but would like to straighten it out. That might entice Robert Ross to throw a 3-2 curveball and just live with the result instead of a fastball. 3-2 pitch, curveball, and the ball is lined, and it's going to be caught by the shortstop Pelfrey. Again, the Mustangs have hit balls extremely hard in this game, but they're right at the defenders. Nothing you can do there. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Berthoud continues to lead Fort Morgan 2-1 on B106 and B106.com. Let's move to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's a low-scoring game, 2-1 in favor of Berthoud. Fort Morgan won handily in the first game, 17-6. Here's Kevin Carter for Berthoud to lead off the bottom of the 5th inning. And the pitch, and the breaking ball bounces in. They got a good piece of the umpire. 1 ball and no strikes. Carter popped up his first time up. 9-1-2 for Berthoud. And Alex Ortega fires. Swung on, grounded to third. Apple's got it on the second hop. He throws a bullet to first for the out. And there's 1 down. Apple retires Carter, and here is Andrew Hardy. Had a bunt single, and prior to that, hit a deep fly ball that was caught by the left fielder, Javi Baqueta. Righty against righty. It's been all righty against righty in this game for Fort Morgan pitching. It's outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Berthoud scored their runs in the first and second innings. Mustangs got their run in the third on a sac fly by Isaac Linker. 1-0. Curveball in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Yeah, the way Robert Ross is throwing, even though the Mustangs are hitting the ball pretty hard, you cannot even allow a run at this point. And the 2-0. Swung on, grounded right off the pitcher. Third baseman Apple has it, throws to first for the out. Now let's see if Ortega's okay. That'll be a 1-5-3. And it looks like Alex is all right. He's just walking that off like nothing. So the very unusual 1-5-3 for the out. Langford's going to check on him. And Daniel Pelfrey will step in. That ball was hit very sharply right off the right ankle of Ortega. And he'll feel it later, but for now he's going on adrenaline. So 2 down. Daniel Pelfrey has singled and lined out, so he's 1 for 2. Well, that's one of the few examples in this game of Berthoud hitting the ball hard that Fort Morgan benefited from. The Mustangs have hit the ball pretty hard in this game, and it's right at defenders, as I mentioned earlier. And the pitch swung on and tapped foul up the third base side towards the dugout occupied by Berthoud. And it's 0-1. Fort Morgan trails 2-1 in the 5th inning of Game 2. And the 0-1 pitch. Ooh, and that ball hit him. Fastball riding in, got him on the left shoulder. Here's Matt Jorison, who singled and walked. So he's 1 for 1. Mustangs have only 6 outs to play with and trail by a run. 2 down in the bottom of the 5th. Throw back to first. Back in safely. Game is just over an hour old. So we're moving along here in Game 2. Stretch. And the pitch. And the curveball's a strike on the inside corner, belt high. It is 0-1. Fort Morgan wins this game. That would be their 15th of the season against 8 losses. RPI looks a little bit different if you lose this game. Maybe not much different. No balls and 1 strike. Pelfrey with a good lead. He's got a lot of speed. The pitch in the dirt, and it's blocked nicely and scooped up by Fajardo. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here to Matt Jorison, right-handed hitter. He's the catcher in this game for Berthoud. Long pause, and the pitch, runner going, and that's taken for a strike. The throw to second, the tag, and safe. Got in just ahead of it. And now it's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Jorison awaits. The pitch, up and in. Now, Alex a lot sharper today than he was last Saturday. Labored against Skyline, even though Fort Morgan won 14-4. Pelfrey off of second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2-1 Berthoud in the 5th inning. The offering swung on, grounded to the third baseman. Apple drops it, picks it up, throws off his back foot perfectly to first. Austin Apple with another all-star play at third on his knees, and that ends the frame. I tell you, some clutch third base play there by Austin Apple. No runs in the inning for Berthoud. No hits, no errors, and a man left. To the 6th we go in 1 minute. Berthoud 2, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. All right, let's go to the 6th inning. 2-1 in favor of Berthoud. Heart of the order coming up for the Mustangs. Jacob Ortega, Isaac Linker, and Nick Norris. Here against right-hander Robert Ross. The offering low with a heater. 1 ball and no strikes. Jacob is 0 for 2. Curveball, a strike. Only 65 pitches thrown by Ross so far. Been very efficient. And now he steps out. Time is not called, but it's inside. Doesn't matter. 2 balls and 1 strike. Time was not granted, but it's ball 2 anyway. 2-1 to Ortega. And the pitch. Swung on and chopped the third on the second hop, and the throw to first is low. And it's not dug out. It's another error on the third baseman, Adrian Short. He threw it right into the ground. And Vomaka could not dig it out. Second error of the game by Berthoud, both on the third baseman Short. Isaac Linker's 0 for 1. The pitch. Fastball, a strike down the middle. It's 0-1. Linker. Sac fly 3 innings ago. That scored Fort Morgan's only tally. Throw back to first. Back in diving is Ortega. No balls and 1 strike. The pitch. Breaking ball waved at and missed, down and away. Isaac thought that was a fastball and took a fastball swing at a breaking ball. It's 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to the shortstop for the Mustangs. Short lead and a pitch. Swung on, lined on 1 hop to second, and the play's going to be made to first for the out. That's the JT, whose name we don't have completely. But the runner does advance. Here is Nick Norris. Norris had the lone RBI yesterday. Norris in this game is 0 for 2. The pitch. Breaking ball, a strike. Reached on an air, then hit a liner to short that was caught. So he's made contact hard twice. The offering. Swung on. That ball is lifted down the right side, and that's going to be caught by the first baseman, Vomaka, behind the bag. And there's 2 down. Javi Baquera's grounded out and lined out. Baquera's at 0 for 2. The offering swung on and foul tipped into the glove of Joris, and it's 0-1. Well, Berthoud is thinking they should be out of the inning anyway after the error to open the inning. Let's see if Baquera can capitalize. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch. And the breaking ball bounces in, blocked by Jorison. Count is level at 1-1. 2-1 Berthoud. In the top of the 6th inning, the offering. Up and in. Ball 2, strike 1. Well, you certainly want to get to the top of the order at some point in J.P. Hamer. But he's a long ways away. This is only the number 5 hitter in the lineup. The pitch. Swung on and foul straight back. 2-2 to Baquera. You know, Ross wants to go the distance, but he's got to get 4 more outs. The pitch. Fastball is high. It'll be a payoff pitch coming up to Javi. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Off of second is Jacob Ortega. And the pitch. Swung on and fouled to the screen. Boy, I got a solid piece of that, but fouled it straight back. We'll do it again. 3-2 to Javi. Here it is. Swung on and fouled straight back. One with a breaking ball that time. Alex Ortega waits to hit next. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Javi Baqueta. The right-hander Ross comes home. Outside and high on a fastball. Now 2 on with 2 down as Baqueta walks. Alex Ortega popped to the second baseman and single to left. A single would tie the game. With Jacob at second, the pitch. Curveball, a strike on the inside corner. Thigh high, it's 0-1. Alex thought that was off the corner. Well, hopefully he gets that pitch when he throws it there too. The stretch and the pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball down and away. And it's 0-2. They're not going to go with a fastball here unless it's well above the letters. After he just swung at that pitch. No balls and 2 strikes. The offering. Swung on and fouled. He challenged him with a fastball. That got too much of the plate. There's no doubt that Ross got away with that one. Remains at 0-2. Beltran is on deck. Runners take their leads. Jacob Ortega and Javi Baqueta. The pitch, and it bounces in, and it bounces away. Ortega to third, and to second is Baqueta. A base hit gives the Mustangs the lead. 1 ball and 2 strikes. With 2 down in the 6th inning. The pitch swung on and drilled to left field, and that's going to be caught by Kevin Carter on a line shot. He came in 3 steps and made the catch knee high, and the Mustangs do not score in the inning again. Hitting into some tough luck. In the inning, no runs, no hits, 1 error, and 2 men left. 5 1/2 complete. The score, Berthoud 2, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. Mateo Salcido is the new pitcher. Alex Ortega goes to right. Jacob Ortega will be on the bench for now. Might be re-entering. As we head to the bottom of the 6th inning, Berthoud leads Fort Morgan 2-1. And Grant Vomaka, the number 4 hitter, who is 0 for 2, will hit against the right-hander Salcido. Wind and pitch. That's a fastball for a strike down the middle at the knees. It's 0-1. Ortega still the pitcher of record, an excellent outing. And Salcido delivers, and the breaking ball bounces to the screen. He just went the distance 5 days ago in a 6-hitter with 9 strikeouts in an 8-1 victory over Stanley Lake in Westminster. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Mateo fires. Swing and a miss. A sharp breaking ball. It's 1-2. One ball and 2 strikes. Berthoud has had this 2-1 lead hold up since the 3rd. The pitch swung on and dribbled foul behind the plate. Vomaka, Short, and Ross in the bottom of the 6th inning for Berthoud. Yeah, that's why every game is separate. That 17-6 doesn't matter at this point. The game 1 result, the pitch swung on and grounded up the middle. The shortstop Linker charges. He throws on the run, and there's out number 1 in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 out for Adrian Short, who struck out twice. So he's probably happy to see Ortega out of there, considering that Ortega is the one who fanned him both times. Fort Morgan will send up the bottom of the order in the 7th. And the pitch and the curveball is outside. 1 ball and no strikes. The sun is out and it's warmed up quite a bit. 1-0. Low. 2-0. Two balls and no strikes. And Mateo delivers. That's right there. Belt high for a strike on the off speed. It's 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. The pitch. Swung on and fouled on the breaking ball. It's 2-2. Mustangs picked up their 14th win of the season earlier. Have to rally to win for the 15th time. And the 2-2. Just outside with a fastball. 3-2. Here to Adrian Short with one out. Nobody on. Bottom of the 6th inning. Berthoud leads Fort Morgan 2-1. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and lifted on the right side into foul territory. Giving chase. Beltran, Norris, and Ortega. It's out of play. Remains at 3-2. Yeah, this is much more representative of the type of baseball you want to see, this type of game. Even though Fort Morgan's on the short end right now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Mateo ready. Winds and pitches. Swung on, grounded left side, and that's a base hit into left field. Adrian Short, after striking out twice, is on base for Berthoud. That ground ball is Berthoud's 7th hit of the game. There's Robbie Ross, who singled and grounded out. Fort Morgan turned 1 double play already. Let's see if they can get a second. Mateo comes home. Breaking ball is way outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Short lead at first for Short, no pun intended. And a throwback there. He's back in diving. Yeah, I don't know if he's much of a base-stealing threat, just based on body language alone. 1-0. Ross awaits in the offering. Beautiful breaking ball in the inner half for a strike. Thigh high, it's 1-1. You can find AC Ice at any local grocery or convenience store near you in Northeast Colorado. AC Ice. 1-1 pitch will be made. Swung on, hit off the end of the bat on the ground on the right side. And charging is Beltran. He flips to the pitcher, covering Salcido for the out. Nice underhand play there by Beltran. And there's 2 down with a runner advancing. 2 down for JT. Again, the mysterious one whose number doesn't match anybody on the roster. Off of second is Short. That's a big run out there for Berthoud. The Mustangs want to prevent it from scoring. The pitch fouled off the end of the bat towards the Mustang dugout on the first base side. It's 0-1. Again, this is like a playoff game for Berthoud. They don't play after today. This is it for them. No balls and 1 strike. With 2 down in the 6th inning. Stretch by Mateo. Looking back, and the pitch. Curveball foul tipped into the glove of Fajardo, and it's 0-2. Well, he might go with that same money pitch. 1 for 2 is this hitter. Ground out in a single. No balls, 2 strikes. Time is called and granted. All right. Steps back into the box. 0-2 with 2 down. Mateo looks in. Step throw back to Linker. Tag applied, but Short back in diving. Working on that move, perhaps for the playoffs. But with 2 down and 2 strikes, you get this hitter. That runner doesn't matter. Let's see if he goes with a breaking ball. On the 0-2. Swung on, grounded up the middle, headed for center field. The shortstop Linker behind the bag, throws in the run, and that's going to be late. It's a base hit. Linker did a nice job of keeping that ball Not only keeping it from going to center, but actually fielding it and making a play. Second hit of the inning. And now, here is Tim Sontag, who has singled and grounded out. First and third with 2 down. Got to get this guy. Because if you go down by 2 going into the 7th, that looks like a huge lead in a pitcher's duel. So here we go. The stretch. And the pitch. Breaking ball, a strike on the outer half, knee level at 0-1. Yeah, I think this hitter, or the base runner, is going to take off. Eliminate the force play. Berthoud now has 8 hits in the contest. And the offering. And the fastball is low. Surprised he hasn't gone yet. 1 ball and 1 strike. Runners at the corners. And a 1-run lead for Berthoud. He's trying to cause Mateo to balk. That you got to watch out there. Go after the hitter. Don't even worry about the runner. I'm sure he wants to do something to throw the pitcher off rhythm. 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch. Swing and a miss and a breaking ball. It's 1-2. Well, let's see if that's his out pitch. That was his 1 strike pitch. Hopefully his 2 strike pitch now. 1-2 on Sontag. The stretch. And the offering. Oh, and it's scooped up beautifully. Runner goes to second, but getting cut off by Linker. It'll be a stolen base. Boy, that's a clutch play there by Fajardo. If not, that could have gone to the screen. On a fastball, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, this batter could determine the difference between a 2-1 game and maybe a 4-1 game. That's how big this pitch is coming up. 2-2 to Sontag. And the offering. And that is taken for a ball. It did miss. A little bit low and away. 3-2. Yep. It looked like it was below the knees. Just low. Out of the windup. 3-2 pitch. Swung on, grounded left side. Apple has got it. Apple steps. He throws, and there is a wide throw, but Norris applies the tag for the out. It's up the first base side, but it doesn't matter as Mateo gets out of the inning. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left in scoring position. Let's head to the 7th. Berthoud 2, Fort Morgan 1 on B106 and B106.com. Beltran, Fajardo, and Apple as we head to the 7th. Against right-hander Robert Ross. Beltran is struck out and grounded into a fielder's choice. He's 0 for 2. And the pitch. And that's a strike on the outside corner with the off-speed pitch. It's 0-1 at the knees. And short, the third baseman is playing in anticipation of a bunt. And the offering, squaring to bunt, and he lays it down foul up the third base side. Now it's at 0-2. Attempted a drag bunt at that. No balls and 2 strikes. Here to Beltran to lead off the 7th. Line and pitch. Swung on and foul straight back. Got to watch out for anything now. Including breaking balls, anything that's close. 0-2 to the number 7 hitter. The pitch. Up and away with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Only lefty hitting for either side. Robert Ross working quickly. And the pitch. Swung on. That's foul back on the breaking ball. Count remains at 1-2 to Nick Beltran. Ross has thrown 90 pitches. Attempted to go the distance. Berthoud leads 2-1. The pitch. In the dirt. With a slow curve. It's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Ross fires. Up and away. Ball 3, strike 2. Big pitch coming up to Nick Beltran, the leadoff hitter in the 7th. Trying to throw Ross off his rhythm. Beltran calls time. 3-2. Wine and offering. And it's in the dirt with a breaking ball. He walks. Beltran walks to lead off the 7th. Well, I tried to fool him, but Beltran was not biting on that pitch. Here's Connor Fajardo, who singled and grounded out. Yeah, it's any way to get on base, and that's the key here, especially when you're attempting to rally on the road. And the offering, scoring to bunt, and he lays it down beautifully. Third base side, short's got it. He fires to first for the out. Beltran to second. Sacrifice is successful. And here is Austin Apple. Apple with a bunt single, and he's popped out. He is 1 for 2. The stretch and the pitch and the breaking ball is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes, 2-1. Fort Morgan trails with 1 out in the 7th. Beltran at second after the leadoff walk. Curveball, a strike down the middle, belt high. And the count evens at 1-1. The Mustangs going for the sweep after winning in 6 innings in game 1. 17-6. The pitch down and away with a curveball. Man, Ross is working very quickly, up to 97 pitches. 2 balls and 1 strike. And the offering. And that's in the dirt. Ball 3, strike 1, and J.P. Hamer's on deck. Said earlier, you got to get to him in the lineup. You get to him, you got a really good shot. 3-1. Swung on, grounded to third. A tricky hop on short, off his body. Now throws back to second. The tag and safe. That'll be an error on short because he had no play at first. And it's first and second. Nice base running by Beltran, getting right back to the bag. And here is Hamer. We'll have a visit to the hill. So Beltran sitting at second still. He had to hold up. Once that ball was played off the chest of the third baseman short, he had no play at first, and Nick scooted back to second. But Ross is going to stay in the game. Just a brief conversation. And we'll see what happens. J.P. Hamer is the guy you want up there, undoubtedly. Hamer has struck out, walked, and lined sharply to short. He is 0 for 2. Fort Morgan trails in the 7th, 2-1. The stretch and the pitch. Strike with a fastball in the inside corner at the knees. It's 0-1. That was pitch number 100 for Robert Ross. And the offering, low. Levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Beltran off of second, Apple off of first. And the offering, swung on and grounded foul up the third base side. It's 1-2. Yeah, if Ross wants to finish this game, he's going to have to get out of it pretty quickly now. Salcido waits to hit next. And the pitch. Curveball is lined, and that's a base hit into right field. Beltran had to hold up, and he's going to be sent home. And now he's going to be sent back to third. Yeah, he was not going to score there. Had to wait on that soft liner, and the bases are loaded. Just over the second baseman's head, and the bases are loaded here for Mateo Salcido. And the first pitch is a strike to Mateo. Had a base hit in his only at bat yesterday. No balls and 1 strike. And the pitch swung on and fouled straight back. Challenged him with a fastball. So 0-2. Isaac Linker's on deck. No balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch outside. Just missed. It's 1-2. That was pitch number 105 for Robert Ross. Beltran, Apple, and Hamer third to first. The pitch. Swung on, grounded, off the pitcher's glove, and headed towards the second baseman. Slide on throw to first is in time, but Beltran's going to score. And the game is tied at 2. It'll be an RBI. That'll go 1-4 to 3. And there's 2 down. But we will go to the bottom of the 7th at some point. And Isaac Linker is being walked intentionally. Well, it's going to be up to Nick Norris with the bases loaded in the 7th.
Come on, Nick. Do a job.
Here's the wind and pitch. Fastball is a strike on the outside corner at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Beltran just scored the tying run on the ground out from Salcido. The pitch inside with a curveball. It levels the count at 1-1. This will be the final hitter that Robert Ross faces. Regardless, 1 ball, 1 strike, and the offering. Swung on line, base hit center field. 1-1 is in. Hamer's around third, being sent to the plate, and he's going to score standing. It's a 2-run single for Nick Norris. The Mustangs have 3 across in the 7th and lead 4-2. And Ross is out of the game. It's a 2-minute break. We're back in 2 minutes on B106 and B106.com. A switch between second and the mound. Robbie Ross to second. JT now the new pitcher. And a pitch in the dirt to Javi Baqueta. And that fastball's a strike at the knees. It's 1-1. The Mustangs have 3 across. Nick Norris has just given Fort Morgan a 4-2 lead with a 2-run single with 2 outs in the 7th. Linker at second. Norris at first to pitch. And the breaking ball bounces in, blocked by Jorison. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mateo Salcido is now the pitcher of record. He took the mound in the 6th inning. And Baqueta awaits the pitch. And that bounces in. Blocked beautifully there. Again, scooped up by Jorison. 3 balls and 1 strike. On deck is Alex Ortega. Had a very good start for Fort Morgan. Mustangs trying to tack on to the lead. They trailed the entire game until this inning. The runners go. Swung on line. Base hit to center field on the hit and run. Linker will score. The throw all the way through. Norris to third. An RBI single for Javi. Fort Morgan with 4 across in the 7th. Leads 5-2. And here's Alex Ortega, who popped out, singled, and lined out. One for 3 in the game. The stretch. And the pitch is a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Ortega. And the offering and the breaking ball again in the dirt. And now taking off for second is Javi. That'll be scored a wild pitch. Well, another base hit can extend the lead to 7-2. And the 1-1 in the dirt. Ball 2, strike 1. To Alex Ortega. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Went hunting on that fastball down in the zone. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Alex Ortega ready. And the offering. Called strike 3. Wow. On the inside corner, Ortega can't believe it. But that ends the inning. 4 runs on 3 hits. 1 error and 2 men left. Let's head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's Fort Morgan 5, Berthoud 2 on B106 and B106.com. It'll be Kevin Carter to lead off the bottom of the 7th here for Berthoud. Fort Morgan leads 5-2. Mateo Salcido going for the victory now. Followed by Andrew Hardy and Daniel Pelfrey. Kevin Carter is 0 for 2 in the game. Here's the wind and the pitch. Bounces in with a curveball. 1 ball and no strikes. Berthoud had a 2-0 lead until the 3rd when Isaac Linker drove in a run on a sac fly. Then the Mustangs tallied 4 in the 7th. Here's the wind 1-0. That's a strike on the outer half at the knees. It's 1-1. Mateo tied it with an RBI ground out. Nick Norris with a 2-run single. Javi Baqueta with a run-scoring single. And the pitch. Bounce that one in there. Ball 2, strike 1. Going with another breaking ball. Back in the box is Kevin Carter. And the pitch outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. Three and 1, the offering. That is on the outside corner. It's 3-2. Well, he might go with a 3-2 breaking ball, but he's thrown a couple in the dirt. Let's see what he does on the 3-2 to Kevin Carter. The offering. Swing! And a foul tip into the glove of Connor Fajardo for the strikeout. There's 1 down. Andrew Hardy is 1 for 3. His lone hit was a bunt single. He steps in from the right side. And the offering. Curveball is right there for a strike. Belt high. It's 0-1. No balls and 1 strike to Andrew Hardy. The right-handed hitting center fielder awaits. And that is, barely missed. On a curveball, a little bit down and away. The count levels at 1-1. Fort Morgan looking for its 10th league victory. 1-1 pitch. Swung on and fouled behind the backstop. Ball 1, strike 2. 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. Fort Morgan leads Berthoud 5-2. Fajardo lays down the sign. And the offering. That's in the dirt. Leveling the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Digging in is Hardy. And the 2-2. Swung on and chopped foul up the third base side. Remains at 2 balls and 2 strikes. We began it on senior day at 10 or after 11. Been playing baseball for the better part of 4 hours over 2 games. Again, we'll do another 2-2 pitch. Here it is. And it hit him. Rode inside. Hit by pitch. Well, now the Mustangs can end it with a double play. Pelfrey, a singled, lined out, and was hit by a pitch. So Pelfrey digging in. And the offering. Swung on. That ball is lifted into right center field. J.P. Hamer is right there to his left. He makes the grab for the out. And there's 2 down. Matt Jorison has singled, walked, and grounded out. He is 1 for 2 in the game. Salcedo trying to nail down the victory right now. 2-step lead at first. And the offering. Breaking ball, a strike down the middle at the knees. It's 0-1. At this point, Andrew Hardy at first is inconsequential because it's a 3-run game. But he's going to throw to first anyway. Back in diving. We'll have a quick post game coming up. Mustangs won game 1, 17-6. Jacob Ortega was our player of the game there. The pitch swung on, and that ball is lifted down the left field side, and that is going to be foul. 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Jorison. Hardy off of first. The stretch. And the pitch. Swing and a foul to the backstop. One with a curveball. We'll see another 2-strike pitch coming up. Here from Mateo Salcedo to Matt Jorison. And here it is. Call strike 3 and a breaking ball. And the Fort Morgan Mustangs have won the game over the Berthoud Spartans by a score of 5-2 with 4 in the 7th. Mustang postgame show brought to you by Morgan Community College. There to make your dreams become a reality for both traditional and non-traditional students. Check them out at morgancc.edu. 5 runs on 6 hits, no errors for Fort Morgan, 7 left on base, 2 runs, 8 hits, 3 errors, 7 left on base for Berthoud. The winning pitcher in relief, Mateo Salcido. The loss went to Robert Ross. Time of the game, 1 hour and 45 minutes. As Berthoud scored runs in each of the first 2 innings to grab a 2-0 lead. Matt Jorgensen had an RBI single in the first. And then they would tally a run in the second on an RBI grounded. Isaac Linker had a sac fly in the top of the third. And then in the 7th, with 1 out and the bases loaded, Mateo Salcido with an RBI ground out tied the game. Nick Norris had a 2-run single. Javi Becerra with an RBI single. Fort Morgan ends the regular season with a 10-6 league record, 15-8 overall, and Berthoud 4-12 in league play and 6-15 on the year with 2 games remaining. So they actually do have 2 games remaining. This is just their final home game of the regular season. Time for the Mustang Player of the Game. It's brought to you by Transwest. They believe that customers are number one. Check out their selection online or just stop by one of their dealerships in Fort Morgan or Sterling today. Transwest will give it to Nick Norris with a big 2-run single as the Fort Morgan Mustangs defeat the Berthoud Spartans 5-2. Outstanding work by our sound engineer and producer, Eric Curtis. I'm John Beltran. The Mustangs sweep the doubleheader, beating Berthoud in Game 1 17-6 and 5-2 in Game 2 on B106 and B106.com.